Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on the time you are watching this video. On this video, I will introduce you a little bit what will be the Jessica's Music Talk Pod. The Jessica's Music Talk Pod will be a podcast where I will speak about music in general. So I will have guests that I will interview, and there will be 3 editions. So the first edition will be the Música Nacional. Música Nacional will be an edition where I will invite musicians from Portugal that will come to talk about their musical projects. And it will be in Portuguese language. I already had a first interview with Chinaslat that I did in the summer, but it's still actual, so I had to figure out how this works with video cuts and things like that, because it's the first time I do this. So the quality will not be the same as the podcast you are used to watch on YouTube normally, but I promise I will do my best with the material I have and the knowledge I have. So it will be a little bit homemade, but it will be fun. So I will do everything to give you good content, to give you good interviews, and to make this podcast as fun as possible. So the first edition will be in Portuguese with musicians from Portugal, Música Nacional. The second edition will be Music Made in Lux, where I will invite musicians from Luxembourg. Why? Because people who know me know that I lived there my whole life, and I also started this activity there with musicians from Luxembourg on Radio Ara. I had a first show called Rock Rendezvous with Celine, where we invited musicians from Luxembourg to talk about their art. And I also had the Music in Lux magazine, and I really missed these interviews with the musicians, so that's one of the reasons I decided to create this podcast, so that I can continue to give voice to the musicians and support them, and because I always supported the music made in Luxembourg, so I will continue to do this in this podcast too. So the interviews with the musicians from Luxembourg will be mostly in English. I will always try to convince them to do the interviews in English, so that the most people can understand the interviews. And if it's not in English, it will be normally in French or in Luxembourgish, but I will really try to do them in English. The third edition will be Music and More, and in the Music and More edition I will have people, I will have guests who will come to speak about things that have something in common with the music, but who are not musicians promoting their work. So we will speak about topics that have something in common with the music, like events, interesting topics, like for example music therapy. It's just an example, or also other topics that have something in common with the music and can be interesting to make you discover. Also people working with musicians behind the scene, who are not doing the music but are working so that the music can happen, like agents, like promoters, people like that. Also people who will explain to the musicians how it works to submit their songs, for the rides, things like that. So everything that has something in common with the music. Organizers, charity events, festivals, a lot of things. So this edition will be called Music and More, and it can be in several languages. If I interview people from Portugal, it will be in Portuguese. If I interview people from other countries, it will be or in English or in another language, but mostly in English. So I will really try to keep this podcast Portuguese and English. And I am also trying to figure out to give you the possibility to activate the subtitles, and you can, in the YouTube settings, you can choose the language you want to see your subtitles, so you can follow the videos and the interviews also with the guests who will talk in the language that you don't understand, for example. I will also create a Patreon for all the people who want to support the podcast. There is no specific amount you have to donate. So if you want to donate something, you can donate the amount you want, even if it's just €1. It's okay. If you really want to support the podcast, it's really nice, and this gives me the opportunity to have good material and to provide you the best quality I can. So thank you very much. I will also create an Instagram page, a Facebook page, and for all the people who want to have an interview in the podcast, you can send me an email on jessicatalkpod@gmail.com, or a private message to Facebook or Instagram page, and then I will contact you, and we will try to find an appointment to do the interview. And that's all. So I really hope you will enjoy this podcast, that it will be very fun. I will put all the links in the description below, also for the Patreon. And thank you very much for your support, and see you soon for more news and more interviews. Thank you. Have a good day.